If I took a bunch of people, let's say there's 100 people in front of me, and I divide them into two groups randomly, and I give them all some task to perform, where they have to figure out some puzzle or create some innovative way of solving a problem. And the only difference between the two groups is that one of them is told, here, see if you all can figure this out, and the other half is told, this is a contest and there'll be a prize for whoever comes up with the best idea. What the research consistently shows across ages, genders, and cultures is that on average, people in the competitive group will do a poorer job. Competition gets in the way of excellence. Now, the effects are these. Number one, it undermines psychological health. Study after study after study finds that whether you win or lose is not the relevant factor. It's whether you had to attempt to learn or work in a competitive versus a non-competitive environment. Even if you win, you feel that you're only as good as your last victory, which is a recipe for neurosis. The second effect is the way it undermines our relationships with other people. We tend to envy winners and have contempt for losers and be skeptical or suspicious of just about everyone. Because even if you're not my rival today, you could be tomorrow. And so it makes sense in a competitive environment, not in life, to hold everyone at arm's length. And in effect, you look at everybody as an obstacle to your success. The third effect is that competition, say in a classroom, reduces kids' interest in whatever they're doing. And this is one of the most thoroughly replicated findings in social psychology, that people tend to become less excited about, less committed to whatever they're doing if the task becomes a means to an end, a prerequisite to getting some reward. And the only thing worse than a reward is an award, which is a reward that has been made artificially scarce. So even the kids who win and keep winning, and that's, of course, a small minority, seem excited and psyched for what they're doing. But it's not putting together a science project. It's not solving a math problem. It's not writing a poem. It's not the task that excites them. It's the idea of defeating other people so that when there's no longer a contest involved, they're actually less juiced to do the thing than they were to begin with, and less interested in learning than kids lucky enough to be in a non-competitive environment, which leads to the fourth effect, and this is the one that would be most surprising to people raised in our culture. People do a poorer job on most tasks in a competitive environment, whether they ended up winning or not, than people who are A, in a non-competitive environment where my success doesn't affect yours one way or another, or B, ideally, a cooperative environment where kids are in pairs or small groups learning from and with one another. On the vast majority of tasks, especially where creativity or ingenuity is required, competition kills excellence.